is an absolutely glorious day here in Suffolk. These are the days that we live for. The ducks are all perfectly happy, but we have had a slight issue. The Ixworth cockerels, the 3 boys that I hatched around this time last year, they've grown up. They've become roosters now, and they have not been very nice to poor little Skexus. So I've had to pop little Skexus in here just to stay away from them because they have beaten the hell out of him. Skex, come here. I know. Come here. Good boy. So, look at his poor back. So they've basically torn all of his feathers out, trodden on him, ripped his skin. He will be fine. I need to just keep this dry, so I'll put some iodine solution on it. There, you can see it a bit better. I'll put some iodine on it to keep it dry. It will heal. Chickens are marvellous, aren't you? Can't even see your face. Chickens are marvellous in recovering. But yeah, we're gonna keep this nice and clean. You can go down for a little bit. Now the plan is, these are the Ixworth cockerels here. We've got 5 of them at the moment. We've got 3 adults, big adults, and actually this one closest to us is still quite a young boy, as is this one. The other 3, we're going to take one out and we're going to put it with my Ixworth pullet, and then the other 2, I'm afraid, are going in the freezer because we can't have poor Skexus getting beaten up. And also that's one of the reasons we raise them. They're dual purpose birds. They're a year old now, so they're going to be really nice freezer meat birds. So a lot of what I'm doing at the moment is clearing work and maintenance because most of the animals are now sort of settled in. So one of the areas that you'll see many times before is the lookout. So the pit is over the back there, and then the idea for this patch is that we will have fencing all the way around the edges, and underneath the fencing it's going to be planted up with rosemary, sage, lavender, and then some wild roses as well. So it'll basically be kind of a herb cutting patch, but also a nice vista. And we've put the boys to work. So it was important to get the boys out here working. So the maintenance crew are chomping. Aren't you, boys? So I found that goats really don't like nettles when they're not cut, and who can blame them really, because they are pretty vicious things and I've got stung a lot. But if you cut them and trim them down and leave them for 24 hours so they lose their sting, the boys are then more than happy to come and eat. I've also cut down quite a lot of bramble, as you can see, so they'll work their way through these as well. And then I've still got this patch over here to do, and this patch is where we're going to have the buddleia hedge with the living willow dome in the middle, and that will lead through to the other side to the turkeys and the nuttery. Now up here I have been working on for several years, and that mainly is because every time I cut things down I then wouldn't be able to come up for another couple of months, and nature would do her thing and weeds would grow. But actually it was a thick bramble thicket 2 or 3 years ago, and we worked hard to cut all the brambles out. So actually when I came up the other day, this has only taken me 2 days to clear because I can just bring the strimmer up, and because the brambles are so few now I could just strim through most of it. Now obviously I've got the boys here as well helping me clear up, and if I can bring the boys up every day, and then once it's strimmed I can strim it every few weeks and keep on top of it, it will actually be really, really good. The other thing is I'm not going to cover everything up here to kill off the weeds because I don't have enough coverings, and I also don't have the time to do that. So by just strimming over and over and over again, you actually allow grass to move in, because grass thrives with being cut. It's one of, you know, the growing tip on a piece of grass is the bottom, and so you can cut the top and it keeps growing. But with most plants, the growing tip is the top, so if you keep trimming it off, they eventually die. So that is the plan for up here at the lookout. So I found another tether in my collection. I knew I had one somewhere. I found it after going through multiple packing boxes. So I've got 4 of them up here now. Gurgi is here. He's not on a tether because I figure he is such a wuss bag that he's going nowhere without everybody else. And all the other boys are pretty happy. I do still need to work out this tethering and putting them further apart so they don't get tangled. But at the moment they're still a bit too whiny. That they hate being too far apart. Apart from Angus. Angus does not care. Oh, you're having a nice scratch. So yeah, so they are doing their job. Doing what they're meant to do. Above this beautiful blue sky. So another small and very unanticipated project is in the falconry area. So here are Pheasant Aviaries, and we're planning to have more here. But we want to get some tragopans, and tragopans require lots of grass, and so naturally the best place is to go out into this meadow. So if I take you over, so we have a natural ditch here, and then we have this huge great mound, and we were thinking we can't be climbing over that mound all the time. So, you know, why not just go to some extra effort and dig straight through the mound, which I did. So I've dug a path right through the middle. So that's kind of the vista. Now the idea is we're going to dig this ditch out over time. We're going to dig this ditch out so it actually has running water in it. We're going to put a bridge over here, and then you'll walk over the bridge and you'll walk through here, and then we'll put some steps up this side, and then the tragopan aviaries will be kind of a row in front of us with the aviaries onto the pasture. But the really nice thing about the bank is you can have plants kind of at chest height. So I've got a couple of aces. This was a rescue from my sister's house. This was an original gift Sard bought for me when we moved into our old house. And then I've got some Brunnera, I think this is Jack Frost. And I've got a little Pinea, is it gold shaft? Gold shats, yes. Gold shats here. And then those cyclamen hederifolium I'm going to plant here as well. So actually when you're walking through this area, in the spring with spring bulbs and then later on with trees, you'll have all these flowers at kind of head height. And I think it should be really, really pretty. Well, we've come up with a temporary fix for the chickens. My friend Fleur was over and we carried the coop that I used to have in the old house into the market garden. Now I was going to take the pure breed chickens, the pure breed Ixworth, out and pop them in there. But I just wasn't happy with the quality of the coop. I thought a predator can rip into this. So actually what I've done is I brought them up and I put them into the main arena. So this way, although the coop is a little bit rough, they've got electric fencing around them, so it gives them a bit of added protection. So I have the most aggressive cockerel in there, and I also have my pullet. Now they're not completely happy in there, but then I think it's better to be in there and safe than in there and somewhere else and eaten by a fox. So hopefully that will calm the coop down. Skexus is actually a lot happier. If I jump across. So Skexus has been hiding away behind things, but now the sun's right in front of us. But now he's kind of here, he's having a drink, so he's a much happier lad. And these guys are alright. I mean, it's a little bit of a middle finger up at them to put them in a small coop in the other coop where they can see everybody else running around. But as I say, if I put them somewhere else, they could end up getting eaten by Mr. Fox. So temporary solution, and then when we build, we're going to build some actual chicken tractors, and then my pure breed are going to move into those. But for now, I think this kind of deals temporarily with the situation. So another thing I'm doing is just lying out carpet along the edge of the pit where the lookout's going to be, and it's just the area that designates where I'm going to put the fencing in. As the winter comes and plants rot down, it will just help keep this little bit of soil more barren of weeds, so when it comes to next year putting in the posts and planting, it's a little bit clearer. Now the other thing to think about, obviously when putting carpet down, is it's often a man-made fibre these days, and so it's going to break down and this is going to go into the soil, but it's kind of that balancing act between buying something new to cover this with or just reusing waste. And this was free waste on Facebook that I grabbed and I can use. And also I'm not growing any soil crops here. It's literally posts, roses and herbs. So that will be totally fine in this situation. And then another thing that I've decided is I'm going to take out some trees. This area is going to be one of the areas that we use in the future. We put some benches in, we'll use it for our on-site courses and our volunteering and picnics and things. So I want the vista over here to look really nice. The thing is, there's a few trees here. If they were beautiful trees, I obviously wouldn't take them out. But this elderberry is basically dead. There's another elderberry here, it's basically dead. And then there's the field maple here. Field maples are 1 to 1 million around here. So I don't know if I'm going to take the entire thing out. I might just take some of the side branches off so you still have one tree coming up, and then some views around it. Now the only other thing is they are on quite a bank, as you can see. So getting in there to chop these is a little bit difficult. Now I do have a chainsaw, but I am not comfortable using a chainsaw and going down a bank, because if I slip, it's game over. So I'm going to use the old-fashioned method. I'm going to use an actual handsaw. We're going to get in and we're going to take some of these trees out, and hopefully this whole vista will then look much nicer. So this is before. I realised that actually this is an oak, so we're definitely not going to take the entire thing down. We'll just take some of the side branches down and we'll leave the main stem. I also think I need some very brightly coloured sapatiers, because I am continually losing them. Cool. That was hot work. And actually, another reason not to use the chainsaw is because it's a bit of a cardio workout. And a second reason as well is I kind of like working without the sound of machinery. It's much more calm, just you, yourself, just doing a few things. So anyway, I've cut it all back, and it looks better than I can imagine actually. So here it is. So there we go, here it now is. So let me back up. So we took out a tree here, we took out a tree here, and then we just took out this one tree. And it looks so much nicer. You can kind of see right over now. So when you come up to the fence, which will be obviously along here, you can see right down now into the pit. Obviously I've left this oak, and I've left that main stem, and then I've left a couple of branches going across because it's quite pretty. I may take out this kind of dying elderberry, but I actually don't mind this kind of view framed by two trees over there and then the trees over here. So you've basically got a bit of a window, and yeah, I'm chuffed at that. I think it'll be really nice. The boys are still really hard at work, and they've moved into this next bunch of brambles. They've pretty much cleared all of this area. This was it was heaps of stuff, and they've eaten it all down. And they're now, obviously my shadow is still here, aren't you? Never leaves my side. But these boys are happy in their bramble patch. So I think it's about time for me to go and have a cup of tea, because I'm rather hot and I need a drink. Thank you for watching as always. If you've liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing. There's a few video links on the cards above. If you've enjoyed the video, please go and take a look at some of the other videos we've been doing. If you're over on Facebook, come and join us at Brimwood Farms community group. But for now, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.